Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. You're going to love it. Ripple Swell's coming up, and it all ties in to what's tearing down. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $2.3 trillion is the cryptocurrency market cap. We're up 1.1% on the market. Bitcoin now 63,400 plus, up 9.6 on the 7-day. Ethereum 2,500 plus, up 8.1 on the 7-day. 118 billion plus market cap for Tether, 35 billion plus for USDC. XRP is 58 cents. We're off by half a point on the 24. We're up 3.4 on the 7-day. Now, let's take a look at this. We know a few things. One, we're ranging between 58 and 59 cents. We're sitting smack dab in the middle of that range. And we know that that is about the range we normally see, about a penny, penny and a half. So that's what we're looking at here. We'll keep an eye on it. But I do want to tell you about this very quickly, which is the spike support from the wellness company. Man, I tell you what, when I first got this for myself and our family, I thought to myself, I don't know how many people would actually like this for the channel, but I did have a lot of people start to tell me they had problems with the vaccine and the shot, and they needed something. I found this. Dr. McCullough says spike proteins build up from the shot, and if you're looking to detoxify from that and respect to dissolution of the spike protein, Dr. McCullough says the best thing around is this right here, and I'm going to show it to you. And it is the wellness company, and you go to spike support formula, and you get this. And you get it for everybody in your family that is taking the shot and you're concerned about them because they're going to need it. I've got a link below the video to get you the discount. Here's the other thing. There's tons of other great things you should have. A first aid kit, a medical emergency kit. Look, everybody should have the medical emergency kit with ivermectin, generic Z-Pak, and amoxicillin. Think of it for a moment. When your family gets sick and these general medications are what are needed, you shouldn't have to go to a doctor and somehow get a referral or be waiting for 40 minutes to be seen and all this stuff. You need medicine right now. Or what if you're traveling when you need this medicine, right? You'll have it. What if you need this medicine after the government has decided to weaponize the ability to get it? Oh, that's right. We lived through that moment. This is real. So take advantage of this while you can, and I've gotten a discount for you so you can get the discount on top of it. So I love it for myself and my family, and that's why I feel like it'll work for yours. Every family should have it. Make sure you check it out. Link underneath the video. The Federal Reserve cut rates, as we know and reported on, by 50 basis points. It's the first cut in over 4 years. Now, that usually over a short period of time will start to turn assets positive, like the crypto assets and like commodities, right? So now with that being said, we also know that the 50 basis points, if you go back and look at the last 6 or 8 times that the Federal Reserve cut by 50 basis points coming out of the gate, we usually find ourselves in a recession sometime after within a year or so. So head on a swivel, ladies and gentlemen. And here we see this. U.S. Louisiana government accepts the first Bitcoin payment by introducing cryptocurrency as a payment option. We're not just innovating. We're giving citizens more flexibility and freedom. And I love that because that's really what the United States is about. Each state has the ability to tailor fit what they want. And us as citizens can go, you know what? I really like what they're doing in Louisiana. I think I'm going to go live there, right? Or whatever state that suits you best with the things that you like. So this is really what the country was founded on. I love seeing this, and I think this trend is going to continue. And don't forget about the trend of removing taxes from gold and silver that is taking place now around the country as well. And then we saw also as a reminder here, former President Donald Trump paid for Bitcoin, bought burgers for everybody in the bar. That's what he did. And that was a cool thing to do, to see an actual former president using cryptocurrency for payment. This is a contrast not only in what the current Harris team is saying and doing, because they're trying to crush crypto right now. even though they say privately in town halls, well, we're looking to reset on it. When? You've been in there for over 1,400 days. When's this reset on crypto coming? I'll tell you when it's coming, when we vote your ass out of there and get the person who's not afraid to write it down, say it, and go participate in using it. Launch companies and sell products in this space he's already done. So when I look at this, I say to myself, yeah, I'm a buyer of actions over talking, right? And that's why I'm a single issue voter right now. So let's check this out. Now, Charles Hoskinson is on CNBC, and I want you to listen to what he says as well about the current state of the industry and where's your best bet going. Take a listen to Charles.
I think if one of the presidential candidates is launching DeFi projects, his family is directly involved, and he's speaking at cryptocurrency conferences, that one's probably going to be a little bit more pro-crypto than the one that put in Gary Gensler and has been on war with crypto for the last 4 years. So between Harris and Trump...
I don't know if you could say it any better, right?
Trump is certainly the favorite from a cryptocurrency perspective, but the reality is, regardless if the U.S. is pro-crypto or not, the world is moving on. Singapore has a lot of great things it's done, as has Hong Kong, as has the Middle East with Abu Dhabi and the ADGM, and Switzerland with FINMA. There's the MiCA regulations in the EU, the FCA, and UK is moving on. So the world, with or without America, is embracing cryptocurrencies. And as an American, it would be nice to see our country get back into the race and build things. But regardless if it is or not, it's not going to change the reality that the world will be decentralized.
And that is absolutely on point right there. And that's why I've said we have to remember, not only is the United States in a pinch because of the level of debt, the money printing, and the inflation, hyperinflation, the de-dollarization movement happening by coalitions like BRICS, all of these things are very, very real impending factors. The clarity for digital assets around the world, like he just mentioned, Singapore, Saudi Arabia, Japan, the UK, the EU, right? And that's why I've always said, I believe this is why you always see Stellar, Paxos, Ripple, USDC Circle, always at U.S. government high-level meetings. Because I believe they will be the pillars of the digital infrastructure that represents the United States presence, and it will be interoperable with the world, obviously, and obviously Ripple has great relationships with multiple other countries. But I'm just talking about the presence of the United States in the new digital economy that is not yet revealed. I believe that Circle, Paxos, Stellar, and Ripple XRP are major pillars in that. And maybe there's a few more, but I certainly believe those are major pillars because they're at every U.S. government meeting or paper that's done on crypto, and they're there as major players influencing. And I remind everybody about, Ripple being part of FedNow, right? So, which is the U.S. domestic banking system on the back end. So all of this is setting the stage here. And where are we going? Well, I'm about to show you. So for 2 years, people in D.C. have said the Operation Chokepoint narrative related to crypto was dramatic, hyperbolic, or just straight up false. Nevertheless, we hear from businesses every day that they had their operating accounts closed, and this points to Silvergate Bank, as you remember, which went down, and they say the smoking gun is this. Silvergate was solvent. It was not insolvent and able to operate, but the Federal Reserve had informed them they had to curtail their crypto business. Without crypto business, they would have had to reshape the entire firm. It was that caused them to liquidate. And you go into here and you see what the writing says. However, the increased supervisory pressure on Silvergate and other banks focused on servicing crypto asset businesses for Silvergate Bank to a point where it would have needed to remake its business model from its focus on crypto asset businesses. This is the Federal Reserve complicit, just like the SEC and the OCC are, in being weaponized to operate to suppress this industry and the technology so it doesn't harm the banks. Make no mistake about it, that's exactly what's going on here. And Gary Gensler is at the helm, and so is Senator Elizabeth Warren. Meanwhile, this is why I say JP Morgan CEO warns of U.S. economic crisis as BRICS power grows. I just told you yesterday that BRICS coalition is passing the G7 now in GDP. It's passing it in actual world population. It's passing it in natural resources. This is not something the world gets to ignore. This is certainly not something the United States gets to ignore. If you go into this, in a recent interview, JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, CEO, who is now being cited to be tapped as a U.S. treasurer for the new administration should they win, it says here, has warned for potential U.S. economic crisis as the BRICS bloc grows more relevant. Indeed, the notable economist spoke at the Council of Institutional Investors in New York this week. He laid out a potential outcome for the United States that would be far worse than a recession. It goes on to talk about the cut rates that just happened from Jerome Powell. But the part I want to bring you is down here. Specifically, there's a worrying regarding inflationary factors impending for the country. Higher deficits, increasing spending could add pressure to an economy mired in fragility. Moreover, the high interest rates will require some time for recovery. They're all inflationary. Basically in the short run, the next couple of years. So it's hard to look at it and say, well, no, we're out of the woods. I don't think so, the JP Morgan executive added. This is all taking place while the U.S. is seeing its global position challenged. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? This is Jamie Dimon. The BRICS bloc has led reinvigorated de-dollarization efforts. Do you know that I've had people contact me? With blockchain-based solutions developing, the greenback's prominence could certainly be threatened. You know how many times I've had people contact me and go, man, stop talking about that BRICS coalition and de-dollarization movement, man. You're just doing that for clicks. All right, well, here comes the question then. Then what's Jamie Dimon doing it for? Because he don't have a YouTube channel. I'll wait. Oh, that's right. And why is BlackRock pretty much enforcing the same message? BlackRock reveals it's quietly preparing for a $35 trillion Federal Reserve dollar crisis with Bitcoin predicted to spark a sudden price boom. And I put the crypto catalyst. This cannot be, you don't get the luxury to ignore $35 trillion worth of debt, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, but as much as they want to act like it, they don't. And they're crapping their pants, you can believe it, when the doors are closed. But that's okay, because I think I see a path forward here. And I'm going to share it with you. Don't forget about Grayscale Trust, open and eligible to accredited investors seeking exposure. It's currently running about $10 plus a share, which takes up about 20 XRP or so to back one share of this fund. Now that's how you get TVL, total value locked up, where the XRP gets locked up in custody. And boy, does that drive price up over time when the institutions start playing, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. And let's not forget about Swell. We're inside of a month, ladies and gentlemen. Ripple Swell, day one. Look who's going to be there. Hunter Horsley, Chief Executive of Bitwise Asset Manager. Tim McCourt, Senior Manager, Global Head of Equities, FX, and Alternative Products at Chicago Mercantile Exchange Group. Eric Balkunas, Senior ETF Analyst from Bloomberg Intelligence, to talk about ETFs. Because why? There isn't going to be an XRP one? Of course there is. Don't be ridiculous. Now let's take a look at the agenda for Swell very quickly itself. Look at this. A reminder. Adrian Harris from the New York State Department of Financial Services is going to be there. What's that telling you about what's coming? Does that sound to you like right now understanding that the state level is very important and that New York Department of Financial Services license is extremely, extremely critical to operate in this space? And now they're going to be speaking at Swell. And to think that people have been out here and still out here pushing a narrative that Ripple has somehow failed. Well, what's Sheila Bair from the FDIC going to be doing there? She's the chair of Systemic Risk Council. Remember that phrase, Systemic Risk Council. Remember that if you've been with me for a while, I have told you over and over and over that XRP was created for a not so sunny day. XRP was created and planned to be introduced during a moment of stress and possibly systemic risk or systemic events. Very quickly, just to look down the list some more here, Coinbase, BBA, you see the Tim McCourt we showed you, right? Obviously, we have Monica Long's going to be there. We have Revolut, who just announced they're going to be doing a stable coin. Wonder if that'll be living on the ledger. Probably so, or otherwise, what's he doing at Swell? Jackie Reese's lead bank. And then you have here, Blockchain Association will be there. MoonPay will be there. Bitwise Asset Manager. You see all the people here. Crypto.com is going to be there. It's become the largest exchange right now recently. Kraken's going to be there. And Pantera Capital. We know Eric Balkunas, as we reported here. Chamber of Progress here. And Visa is going to be there. Carlos Domingos, who I had the pleasure of interviewing at DC Blockchain Summit. And boy, are they crushing it with Buildle Fund that they have. And boy, do we know that they're working with BlackRock in a big way too. So look, the list is super, super powerful, ladies and gentlemen, that are going to be at this event. And here's why I believe it's so important. I just showed you the crisis, right? Well, remember this Ripple drop with Brianna Madigan when she used to work at Ripple? And she ends up talking about resilience in the markets and how the XRP ledger and XRP needs to have resilience just like any other market. And specifically, so it could handle some kind of a systemic event. Take a listen here.
Markets to trade in those assets very easily, and that can be geographically or through multiple infrastructure partners, whether it's exchanges or OTC desks or what have you. And the last key attribute of a healthy liquid market is really resilience, and that is getting at the ability for a market to recover from a significant systemic event. So,
really, that's interesting. To recover from a significant systemic event. Could that be like what JP Morgan are talking about? The crisis here of the US dollar and the blocks impending, or the printing of the money itself and the debt that it's created and the interest of $1 trillion every 90 days? And if we don't do anything about it, it'll end up being every 60 days soon? You mean that kind of a systemic event? Looking at the chart, let's break down the wave here. $27 to $33. I like the sound of this, baby. Come on in. Right now we have double digits, $27, $33. Let's break down the wave. Typically, wave 5 spans between 1.236 and the 1.618 wave, which is very critical to XRP charts. He says, of wave 4 matches waves 1 and reaches 61.8% of the combined length. 1 and 3, all these scenarios push us well beyond Fibonacci 3. So that puts us here in comparison with Bitcoin and Ether. Check out the 4 charts below. Fully grasp the details. XRP's potential is on another level. Here you go. Don't miss the charts to see why this is a big deal. Here you see it. And I'm going to go down them here so you can see. And here's that 3-month chart that just looks strong as strong can get. Why? Because the 3-month is a huge macro chart that pulls back really far. Every candle is 3 months of time. And over that, you see there's nothing but upward movement over the 3-month chart. That takes out all the noise of the market on daily. It lets you see that XRP has been performing upward all the time. Loving that. And here again, you can see Ethereum to US dollar on the 3-month chart, and same picture for Ethereum as well. So then you can see XRP to the US dollar here, and then you can see on this the different waves. He has 1, 2 to 3, 4, and then up to 5. And then you can see here where he has the shorter wave, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and the 5 wave he's looking for here, which would put us in that conversation of 26 to 33 bucks. So there we have it. It's not a guarantee. It's a indicator. And I believe we need to see some fundamental news break open and give us the clarity we need. And don't forget, we should find out days away How many more days? Not many days. We're going to wait to find out if the SEC is going to appeal the SEC versus Ripple case. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. Oh, I got something for you to see today, and it's on the legacy media. Boy, they are dirty. And we're going in right now to see it. You could join us too. Go to digperspectives.com, click the Freedom Zone, and come on in for next to nothing. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. All right, welcome back.